So we got our box here, and the first thing I want to do is get my inverter mounted. And to do that, I've decided to mount the inverter here. There's an indentation on the inside. I just went again with a 400 watt inverter. On this inverter, all I'm really going to be powering with it is a diesel heater and fans at certain points in summer or spring. And I don't need a lot of voltage or wattage to do that. So the battery takes up a lot of space in the box. I have very limited compartment over here to do this. So I'm gonna put this Ampeak 400 watt inverter in here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount it like this on the inside. And we're gonna run our jumper to the 120 volt outlet right here. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and take a 2-inch hole saw. This is dead center all the way down. It's 6 inches down and 3 across. So I have a little marker right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill that. Okay, that's the hole. And I'm just going to take a razor blade and kind of clean this up. This is the plug that we're going to put in there. I'll have to go ahead and make my connections back in here, but what this is going to do is slide in through the back. And then I have to drill 3 little holes here for the screws, and that will help keep this in place and it'll prevent it from turning. And then just to keep the box from leaking, I'm going to go ahead and put some clear silicone around the back, push it in there, and just give it a really nice waterproof sealed mounting point. And then that's what it'll look like when it's all done. So we got our box here, and the first thing I want to do is get my inverter mounted. And to do that, I've decided to mount the inverter here. There's an indentation on the inside. I just went again with a 400 watt inverter. On this inverter, all I'm really going to be powering with it is a diesel heater and fans at certain points in summer or spring. And I don't need a lot of voltage or wattage to do that. So the battery takes up a lot of space in the box. I have very limited compartment over here to do this. So I'm gonna put this Ampeak 400 watt inverter in here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount it like this on the inside. And we're gonna run our jumper to the 120 volt outlet right here. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and take a 2-inch hole saw. This is dead center all the way down. It's 6 inches down and 3 across. So I have a little marker right here, so I'm going to go ahead and drill that. Okay, that's the hole. And I'm just going to take a razor blade and kind of clean this up. This is the plug that we're going to put in there. I'll have to go ahead and make my connections back in here, but what this is going to do is slide in through the back, and then I have to drill 3 little holes here for the screws, and that will help keep this in place and it'll prevent it from turning. And then just to keep the box from leaking, I'm going to go ahead and put some clear silicone around the back, push it in there, and just give it a really nice waterproof sealed mounting point. And then that's what it'll look like when it's all done. Okay, so the inverter company didn't send any hardware for mounting. It's just literally they send you this cables for the battery, but you have to come up with your own hardware. Find that kind of odd that they don't at least send you the solutions to help mount it. Now this is kind of rounded. I would have loved for this one to be flat. Makes it a little bit more challenging to mount it. So what we're gonna do is I have some machine screws that are Allen bolt style, and I'm gonna go ahead and drill this out a little bit so that these will fit through there, and then I can fit some washers on the back so I can get this nice and level. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark where I want these to be, and then I have a drill. I'm gonna drill this out to fit these and then drill the inside. Okay. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up back here. I'll flip the camera around so I can show you what we're doing on the inside. So the reason I went ahead and drilled the hole on this side is because I won't be able to get it from the inside. And the way that this lip steps up, it'll be up a little bit higher. So if I put my bolt through here, I can line it up through here and then drill the 2 top holes from the top. So let's go ahead and kind of line that up. I did this a little bit tight so that it would thread into the plastic. I'll have to get my Allen and get that started, and then that'll line up my inverter on the inside. Okay, now that that's mounted up, everything in there looks good. Trying to do this on a budget. Cables right now are really expensive. Everything's gone up in price. So if you're taking a look at this inverter, it's like, oh, that's not the most expensive sound wave inverter possible, but just keep in mind, I'm running things like small camping fans. The diesel heater will run on this just fine. I've used this style inverter before. I had some leftover ground cables, and the terminals that I used before, you can see that there's like a copper side and then like a nickel side. So what I'll do is just label that this is going to be the positive side, this will be the ground side. I'll just use a paint marker to label my connections. And again, this is trying to do this on a friendly budget. You know, we can always upgrade later. The box can change in different ways. We can put plates in here to cover up old screw holes and whatnot, but this is just how I'm going to do it. If you have, you know, the red cables and the black cables, go ahead and use those. I'll probably eventually switch that out once prices come down some, but for right now I'm just going to use the resources that I have. I have 2 ground cables. We're going to be putting a controller on the front of this to be able to read what the battery is doing. So I have extra cable, and then we're going to do that. But let's go ahead. I'll use my paint marker. I'm going to put a positive on the inverter, and then I'll put a positive on the cable. All right, we're gonna let those dry, and then we'll go ahead and make our connections. All right, so let's just go ahead and put this back in here so I can wedge that in between the wire. Now this goes this way, not this way. So the gauge will sit inside here, the post will come through, then your wing nut will be on the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire some switches here. I have this old night light plate that I'm not using for anything. I had 3 switches. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 fans in this and some like little emergency lights. It's always nice to have a little extra spare little lights for when you're moving around camp and it's dark. I have some little LEDs left over from a trailer project. So we're gonna go ahead and put some white ones on here and maybe some yellow ones and be able to operate those by a switch. As you can see here, I have the plate, I squared it up, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the little squares out. Find what I did with my knife here. This plastic is really thin, so it's easy to cut through with a box knife. Just go ahead and take your time. Try not to push too quickly. And you should be able to do this with ease. Right now I'm just kind of scarring it the best I can using a ruler or straight edge. So the switches, when I was doing this cutting, the camera battery ran out, but we do have the switches cut into the box here. It's very easy to do. This is just an aluminum template. What I did was just trace the inner diameter out. I used our ruler just to make sure, you know, we had ample amount of space, and then cut that out with just a box cutter. This plastic is not very thick, and if you take your time and you just scar with the box cutter, just like this, you know, just scar around on the inside, these switches actually attach to the aluminum panel, so they just snap on the inside. We have a few more holes to drill in the box. We need to work on getting a fan situation for the box, and what we're going to do is take a hole saw. It is a 3-inch hole saw, and we're going to measure this out, and we're going to drill holes here and here to be able to mount the fan on the inside of the box. And then we're going to take our fan guards, and they would be mounted on the outside of the box. So we'll have one sucking air in, and then we'll have one blowing the hot air out. So that's going to be the last part that I'm going to show you for this video, and then we'll break up the wiring for the box in another video. This one's getting rather long, but let's go ahead and finish up the last 2 holes, get the fans mounted, and then we'll move on to electrical in the next video. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the battery out. It's a tight fit in here. Grab my ruler. So I think what I'm going to do is measure across. Let's see. So we have 5 inches. 2.5 will be center. Find where I did with my marker. Inches. Close enough. Just gonna make sure I don't have any cables in the way. Gotta tighten that down. So what that's going to look like from the inside, the fan will go in here like so, and then we will attach the grill guard from the outside like that. And we're going to go ahead and drill this one. We'll mark our holes so we can line that up and get that mounted. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put this on the outside and use the screws for this. Drill the holes out here and then put this on the inside so it's lined up. Just have to find out what I did with the longer screws, and we'll go ahead and do that next. So I'm going to go ahead and finish screwing this in, and to save on time on the video, I'll show you what the finished product looks like after we get this screwed in and the fan mounted on the back. Okay, so we got the fans mounted, and as you can see, there's the fan guards on the inside and on the outside. We have our electrical connections that we're going to run to a fuse block. This is what it looks like from the back side. So if we spin that around, the fan guards are, again, inside and out. We have an intake and an exhaust vent. So the next video is going to be us wiring everything up. We have a fuse block that we're going to be wiring into this. Everything will be connected to this. And then we're going to program the battery monitor. So it reads the 200 amp hour battery. We'll get it all up. We'll put a load on this to show you its capabilities. If you like this video, let us know. Put your comments down below. We do read them. We try to answer all of them. This is our second build, and we're trying to progress in this market. And if we can do something better, or you have ideas on how to improve the box that we have, we do value those comments, so put them down below. And stay tuned for part 2. We're going to wire this thing up. Thank you.